TV, certainly the best.
Paternity fraud is the intentional misrepresentation of a child's biological father. This deception can have profound emotional, financial, and legal consequences for the man who was misled into believing he is the biological parent, the mother, and the child involved. It's one form of misattributed paternity or paternal discrepancy. Specifically, paternity fraud is the intentional misidentification of a child's biological father. Paternity fraud is distinct from other unintentional misattribution which may arise from simple error, an accident such as mix-up during fertility treatment or a sexual assault. Paternity fraud is a significant and growing concern in Nigeria, driven by societal pressures, infidelity, and increasing accessibility of DNA testing. Recent reports from DNA testing centers suggest that approximately 1 in 4 men who seek paternity tests discover they are not the biological fathers of their presumed children. Paternity fraud is a situation where a woman misleads or deceives a man into believing and accepting he is the biological father of a child. It is a rampant, growing, but underexploited issue in Nigeria with significant ethical, legal, and social consequences. Despite anecdotal evidence suggesting a high percentage of up to 40% in some private DNA testing centers, there is a critical research gap in empirical data and logical provision addressing paternity fraud. Existing family laws do not explicitly recognize paternity fraud, leading to inconsistent judicial outcomes and inadequate restitution, for affected individuals. Cultural taboos connected to paternity testing further complicate the issue, as requesting a DNA test is often perceived as distrustful or disrespectful, challenging deeply held cultural values. This study examines the ethical dilemmas, legal gaps, cultural influences, and social impact of paternity fraud in Nigeria.
It's a welcome development. I don't have any issues with it at all. People don't just wake up and demand for DNA tests. It is based on circumstances and issues around relationship and trust. And that is why you see people coming up to say they want to be sure. We've had a whole lot of issues around paternity, both from the male angle and from the female angle. So we've had issues. And the only way you can draw finality or conclusion to it is when you ask for a DNA test. Now, the good thing about DNA test is that it's either 99% or 0%. So it's very easy to know that this is my child and this is not my child. Very easy. And I want to say that for me, I don't have any issues. I don't have any problem. I encourage it, particularly when there are doubts around the issue of birth. I don't see any reason if there are circumstances and you are demanding for paternity test. If there are no issues, then why are you afraid of it? You shouldn't be afraid when you know your hands are clean. So on the issue of breakages of marriages, of course it will happen. If it happened that it's negative or it's positive, and it happened that your suspicions are correct, certainly it will lead to either divorce or separation, basically. I don't think that is a social problem at all, but it will also give you rest of mind to say, yes, either this is my child or not. We must begin to live faithfully with each other. I think that is it. If you know you are not faithful, also you should also know that you can be cut out, basically. That there is a way we can identify and find out if you were faithful in your marriage. All these things leads to succession as well, property rights and succession rights. So it is not just only paternity issues. It goes a long way when it comes to property devolution, as well as other areas of social issues that we must also look at. You do not want another person's child to inherit your property. So those are the things. You see, it's not something that just end up with the man and the woman. It goes further than that. And you will also recall that late MKO Abiola, before he died, insisted that the majority of his children should be tested. And that happens. And you all know the result of that test. A lot of those kids or a lot of those children were not his at all. And because of that, they were denied the rights of property inheritance. You see, but of course, he would have done that probably when he was alive. So I don't see anything wrong with it. It should be encouraged in society, and it should be encouraged globally.
It has become a thing that people now practice it because of some reasons. Otherwise, before now, it's assumed that once a woman is pregnant and she's married, that pregnancy belongs to her husband, and eventually the child belongs to the husband. But within some circumstances that you now found that maybe the child is sick and the child is taken to the hospital, he needs blood transfusion, the blood does not rhyme with the supposed father and things like that. I think that's where the idea of doing DNA came about. And you and I know that it can be so disappointing that you are raising a child only for you to discover that that child is not yours. And to avoid all this, that's where they brought the idea of doing DNA. And also, when they want to travel out, well, there are also issues there. So you go to embassy with so much confidence, and at the end of the day, you find that the children you have taken to embassy to get visa, they are not yours. So it's really disheartening. But I want to advise my fellow women, let us be truthful to our husbands. If you know you can't stay with the man, instead of jumping around, just get out of the marriage so everybody know that you are single. Instead of pretending to be married and yet you are more of a single person. And at the end of the day, you bring other men's children for the man to take care of. And at the end of the day, there are issues. So instead of putting yourself in that disgraceful manner, just stay on your own and they know that you are not married. And you can do whatever you want into your life. Nobody is going to ask you, why are you doing that? In every action, there are always consequences. So everybody should stick to what belongs to them so that the children you have will know that they are yours and things like that. But even the men, they do it with recklessness, except when the man eventually dies. You see people coming from every angle that this man was my father and all that. And I think that is not healthy. So let us believe morally. God says, if do not fornicate. So, and you know the punishment of fornication. So let's just avoid it and be faithful to our partner.
Findings reveal that economic insecurity, societal pressure on women to bear children, and restricted access to affordable DNA testing contributes to the problem. Key causes of paternity fraud include marital infidelity and concealment. Women may hide that a child was conceived with someone other than their partner to avoid divorce or abandonment. This can also happen when a woman gets pregnant, probably for her ex. In order to save her marriage and family reputation, she will cleave to an unsuspecting, innocent loving partner, especially when the wedding date has been fixed. It does happen when the woman's husband lives abroad for greener pasture. Perhaps he stays out of the country for a couple of years and occasionally comes to visit once a year or once every 2 years to 5 years, leaving the woman lonely and vulnerable to temptations from other men. These ladies sometimes sleep with their house help or security guards. The brothers or best friend of the said man abroad may be lured into their net if they are not careful. Another factor is financial motivation. A desire to secure child maintenance, inheritance, or financial support from a financially stable man. Sometimes desperate ladies go a long way to tie the man of their dreams with pregnancy. They know fully well that the pregnancy does not belong to the said man. Due to the financial stability, they can get pregnant for any man of their choice to remain relevant in the scheme of things.
In our mother's days, they don't even know what is called DNA. Because when you are married, you are married. You live with your husband and your children. It's one family. There's no looking out. And if you look out, they have punishment for it, grave punishment for it. So that was like a standard control that our parents used to sustain friendship in marriage, to sustain respect in marriage, and to sustain oneness in marriage. But these days, it's so unfortunate that young people no more take marriage very seriously, no more take relationship very seriously. They no more take oneness of the family very seriously. And all our culture and traditional effects of such misbehavior is no more in practice. So the best option is to go for DNA. And now we show anything that is not made by God may not be 100% correct. That is the truth about life. Anything that is not made by God is not 100% correct. So even the DNA, how we show is 100% correct. The person that is doing the test in the lab, any little mistake will give a bad name to a dog in order to hang it. So the way forward is that all those our cultural practices, traditional practices that are healthy should come back. We should effect it. What is important is your heart, your mind, your conscience before looking at deterrents from outside. In marriage, your heart, your mind, your conscience. This will guide you in order for you not to go astray, either as a man or as a woman. But when these virtues are lost, then we begin to call for DNA. Of course, that's the last resort that will solve the problem. If a woman is accused innocently, then the woman can confidently say, let's go for DNA. And that woman will be vindicated. That's the last resort for now that we have. People are ready to go and swear. Even if you say go and swear, people are ready to go and swear. After swear, they go and do other things to counter the swear.
If it is done sincerely, it brings sanity to preserve marital vow. And at the same time, if a man and a woman knows at the end of their journey, something will come suddenly like this, everybody will check each of ourselves, and the word integrity will prevail. Even nowadays, nobody care. Nobody want to know or care about integrity. And that is why sometimes, before you marry in those days, our parents want to know from which family do you want to marry. They go deep into it. If it's a family where you are hit and run, they will not allow. But a woman who has no manner, or a man who cannot really preserve, go from one place to another, just bringing babies. And when you find out most of the children, they are sick, you don't need the cause. It's because Fanta face and Coca-Cola body. You find out the father is from another person, the mother is from another place. So how do we go about it? So it's in order to allow integrity to prevail in marriage, I think it is very good and better. And also people should always know that anything you do in secret will come up one day. So I think I personally encourage it. We don't start what you cannot end. When you don't want your house to be broken, we must allow the truth and the honesty. When your marriage is tailored by your parents, they pay your dowry, fine. You are being attached to yourselves, and you need to grow into yourself and then bring out children. That's what the Bible says. But the child you want to bring out, or children, are they from one source? They are not corn that you grown up under. So we pray that no broken home. But if your house is broken, you want to find out why. If you mess up your bed, how do you want to lie on it? I encourage it. So if anything comes contrarily, you will find out if it is really not. I'm not talking about short course test. You do tests that is not a Yahoo test, retest, and whatever it comes out, fine. What brought this matter of DNA test is reality. Yeah, because sometimes hunger can kill faith. At the time that there is hunger in the land, a stupid person can just come and dash currents of pounds or dollars, then you fall off, you derail like trail. So that is why it is good this should be done, and then it's a legacy they want to follow. Where for sincerity we are talking, and integrity will prevail. That will prevail in a marriage. Sincerity, integrity is what we are talking. Then when you have this, you may not bother, but in order to be properly sure, go ahead doing it, so that you have rest assured, peradventure anything happens.
Social stigma and pressure. Fear of stigma, pressure to produce children, or pressure from family to have a father figure present. In Nigeria today, some ladies, in order to save their marriage, go extra mile to bear children for their partners, sometimes due to cultural pressure of having a male child or just to have children. Some religious women sleep around with the heads of a religious organization to bear children. Some ordained pastors and imams, traditional worshippers, some working class women get intimate with their colleagues in their places of work just to have children or male child in order to save their marriages.
I am fully in support of that. In terms of this, our modern living, why I really say I support it is that a whole lot of men have trained children for other people, being that they don't even know if they are the actual fathers of the children. The kind of lifestyle most of our ladies live these days, I will encourage that the government should make it reasonably affordable for every man or every child to have his DNA done. The reason for me, again, is that if you know the DNA of your child or you know the paternity test of a child, it gives you an in-depth responsibility for you to cater and do what you expect to do for that particular child all through life. But when you don't do it, or when you are not able to do it, when you start seeing some traces of abnormal character emerging from a child, you start imagining, what is this one coming from? And when these things keep happening like this, you see that you will lose trust, and at the end of the day, the psychological effect is enormous. It can even derail the entire system, the entire system of the man or the family. So that is just one of it. We also know that it has so much negative effect in doing it, because sometimes there are certain stories that don't need to be told in the course of living. So I will say that we have some things. Some people can manage a family. They may have some maybe limitations in terms of their production and all that from the men, and the woman tries to go out of her way to balance the entire house. And when she goes out of that ways and gets the house balanced, perhaps bringing the child or something like that, and then the man eventually find out that this is not my child, it derails the man. For me, sometimes we allow it slide, but majorly it is better we call a spade. We iron things out and make things work. Let the man know if he's adopting, let him know he's adopting. If he's not adopting, let him know the state he is. I will stand with that. But that doesn't deter us from telling us that sometimes certain things have to be kept quiet for peace to reign, for the entire community to be at peace.
Marriage is built on trust. And when you talk about DNA is like a breakdown of trust. When there's no breakdown of trust, DNA won't come. The reason why DNA cannot be ruled out, because you are living with human beings. You cannot also rule out the issue of trust and distrust. So it is there to clear doubt. So DNA naturally should not be compulsory for everybody. DNA test should not be compulsory for everybody. It should not be optional. When there are issues of doubt, then DNA cannot clear that doubt of paternity questions. So the point I'm making is that DNA came to solve a particular situation where people had doubt on the paternity position of their kids. And we find out from results that most time the DNA prove 99.9% no paternity. So we have also found out that DNA comes out to say that paternity correct. So the point I'm making is that DNA should not be made compulsory by government. DNA should be the last resort to clear doubt when there are issues of trust. It's very important. Okay, so that's the reason why we encourage couple this extramarital activity can actually lead to this issue of doubt. When there is trust in marriage, you've married your wife, you have cohabited and begin to raise children, the issue of DNA would never come up. Yes, but when there are this issue of cohabiting extramarital activities, you will discover that when there are issues, that will come in. Secondly, we have seen that a child is sick, come and donate blood, and at the end of the day, the blood is not matching. What do we do? Then those are questions of that. So we have also seen situations. This guy was sick. The child, 5 years old, took the child to the hospital. The father was to donate blood. They tested the blood is not matching. It was questioning. And after the shouts and all of what that comes through all of that, the woman also did a DNA and discovered that it was not also her. And when they now went back to where they discovered there was mistake from when the child was given birth to, they had mistakenly exchanged that child. And because the woman knew herself, the woman insisted and went through all the rigorous, and they were able to find those people who they gave birth same time in that same facility, and they find her own child. So the DNA naturally cannot be ruled out. There are issues of doubt that it has come to solve. So this is my position. Number one, it cannot now be a must that you just have your child go and do DNA. No, it will create doubt when such an accusation against the wife. After the result, such marriage can no longer be as it used to be, because there's already doubt, there's already breakdown of trust, and one of the power of marriage is trust. So we must ensure that this trust base is kept. It is only when the trust is no longer there, then the paternity test becomes very important.
Emotional relationship security. The intention to trap a partner, keep a relationship together, or create a two-parent household. This is where the woman picks on any man of her choice that she felt will be able to stand the test when she gets pregnant, not minding that she's already in a relationship with another man that she intends to get married to, or she's already a married woman living in her husband's house. This may not be the same for every woman, because we have most women in Nigeria that respect relationship and of course respect the tenets of marriage, irrespective of the pressure built upon by society and family to bear male children or still to have children. Other case is uncertainty and concealment. In case where the mother is unsure of the biological father, she may choose a partner to be the legal father. This goes for women with multiple sexual partners. They may not know the guy that got them pregnant. On realizing they are pregnant, they choose from the region of sexual partners, especially the one they feel is financially stable and responsible, to be the father of the unborn child. Cultural factors. Pressure to have children, particularly male children, in some cultures can drive women to hide the true paternity. This can happen in a traditional setting when the line of succession must be maintained. In order to maintain the lineage of the throne, some women will go out of their way to bear a male child or children to maintain the rulership of the clan. The question that is somewhat difficult to answer is whether families should be encouraged to go for paternity tests when the children are born to prevent a foreseen heartache. To ensure clarity in raising a family, a man is sure of. Another nagging thought is how many Nigerians can afford the money to go for a paternity test. It's quite expensive, and an average Nigerian will not be able to foot the bill for a child paternity test, talk less of 2 or 3 children. With the high level of infidelity in Nigerian society today, how can a man secure his home without doubt, know for sure that the children he's fathering are his? There are causes and effects. Actions and reactions are equal and opposite. Men, if you must travel out of the country, try everything within your power to take your wife along. After some months or years, let it not be for too long. Women, the choices you have to make as a mother goes a long way to affect the family. Maintain your dignity as a woman or a mother. Put your emotions in check no matter the pressure. Family members do not put undue pressure on the husband or wife because of the absence of children in your son's marriage. Remember, be it male or female child, they are all gifts from God. Do not put yourself under undue pressure because you want a male child. Men have died of heartache or heart attack on realizing that the children they raised as their children were never theirs. Families shattered on finding out that though they grew up together, did everything together for a long time, were never of the same father. Look around families in Nigeria today. Men are divided beyond recognition as the battle for paternity is tearing the fabric of the society apart. Trust dashed, love thrown out of the window, husbands and wives of dagger drawn, children confused on how to relate with the man they once called father. In all of this commotion, some men do not mind if the kid is theirs as long as they were the ones that the child gets to call father. Men have died of heartache or heart attack on realizing that the children they raised as their children were never theirs. Families shattered on finding out that though they grew up together, did everything together for a long time, were never of the same father. Look around families in Nigeria today. Men are divided beyond recognition as the battle for paternity is tearing the fabric of the society apart. Trust dashed, love thrown out of the window, husband and wives as dagger drawn, children confused on how to relate with the man they once called their father. In all of this commotion, some men do not mind if the kid is not theirs as long as they were the ones that the child gets to call father. Some families choose to bury such dark secrets to keep the family together by living with the pains of betrayal in each of their waking days. As for the ones that cannot take it, they head to court for divorce or return the bride price of the woman if the wedding was based on tradition. Look at that son or daughter of yours. Is he or she truly your blood as a father, as a mother? Look at him or her very well. Is he truly the son or daughter of your husband? That man you call father, is it truly your father? Don't you think it's better to go for a paternity test? Who's your daddy? Who's your dada? Who's your pappy? Don't you think as a child you need to know who your father is? Wilson Omasho reporting.
ITV, certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
Behind the glass doors of cold rooms and freezers lies a major source of protein for many households. Frozen chicken, turkey, and fish have become common food items in homes, restaurants, and food businesses across the country. From importation and storage to transportation and final sales, frozen food passes through a chain that is highly dependent on electricity, fuel, and efficient handling. Any disruption along the chain often reflects to the final price paid by consumers. On this edition of Market Survey, we examine the current prices of frozen chicken, turkey, and fish, the factors influencing their cost, and how traders are responding to the market conditions. Frozen chicken, turkey, and fish are largely sourced through importation and large-scale distribution, making their prices sensitive to several factors. Traders explain that costs related to import duties, foreign exchange, transportation, and storage play a significant role in determining market prices. Cold room operator says the cost of running generators has increased as frozen food require constant power supply to prevent spoilage. Fuel expenses, maintenance of cold storage facilities, and logistics all add to operational costs, which are often passed on to consumers. At the retail level, traders price frozen items based on size, weight, and type. Prices can also vary depending on supply levels and consumer demand. During the period of high demand, such as festive season, prices tend to rise, while lower demand often leads to slower sales. Consumers say frozen chicken, turkey, and fish remain important protein sources, but prices changes have affected buying habits. Many buyers now opt for smaller portion, cheaper alternative, or less frequent purchases in response to rising costs.
Welcome to Market Survey. On this edition of Market Survey, we are currently in the market to get to know the current price of frozen chicken, frozen turkey, and frozen fish. So stick with us as we get to know the current price of these various items. I am Stephanie Notoriua. Chicken and turkey day for market now, the price is not come down.
Yes, it don't come down.
So how much until they sell kilo for chicken?
No, they sell on 6,000. Chicken wings they sell on 7,000. The turkey na 9,500.
How much until they sell on before?
Before turkey na 10,000, chicken na 7,650. But it don't drop now. Chicken wings they sell on 8,000 now, but now they sell on 7,000.
So when it drop?
Don't they go like a month now?
So how much they buy for cattle? So that cattle until they carry?
They buy cattle 55 for chicken. The turkey now they buy 90.
How much they carry
before now?
For the chicken?
For the turkey.
What of the chicken?
Chicken they buy 65.
You see corner pass it?
Yes. I don't get believe say go corner pass on. No be say not guess it, but I guess this time around it go come down. Now this they change this. The money attention, the money to the chicken to the drop.
Before they sell on 5,000.
So that's 6,000 at the last price now?
Yeah, this is on last price.
So how much until they carry give this carton, this small carton?
This carton now 10 kg and then as it be so. Now 60,000. Some people will give you 62,000. So it depends on how the price they come for them. Yeah, so that's what it be.
How much they sell them before?
Before they sell 50,000.
So it don't increase now?
Yes, they increase.
So what about turkey? How much they sell kilo?
Kilo now for turkey now 9,000. Before now 8,750.
So that means it does still go up?
Yes.
How much they sell the carton?
The carton are 90 for now 90,000.
We say no they frozen, we say no block, and the one we say it can't block. Like the price is the difference if people want buy and they'll say this one no block.
Not the same price. Not the same because if you sell at a lower price, now with that loss, you loss.
frozen chicken, frozen turkey, and frozen fish. So come with us as we get to know these prices. I am Stephanie Notoriwa. They say Scubian fish now.
1 and 4,000. 4,000 naira. Before we they sell 1,500, 1,000. But now it can't even worse pass. This must be 4,000 naira. One cattle at 198. 198,000. Then at 200 now.
How much did they carry on before?
Before, you never reach 120. 198 for one cattle. Say we carry 150. 15,000, but now 95,000.
So you don't get another type of Scooby and solo.
I know they said that one. Now let's Scooby and they say.
So but that one still there on the air side?
No, that one they cheap, but not the sweet. That one they cheap, but not the sweet. Some make us not the seller. 150, we fit manage. You buy one fish like this 4,000 take cool soup. Now wasting our time now. Because before a ton soup, it don't break. Before it not be like that.
from our market survey show that the prices of frozen chicken, turkey, and fish remain closely tied to operational cost and supply conditions. Traders says expenses related to storage, fuel, and transportation continue to influence pricing decision. While they all acknowledge the importance of these food items in their daily meal, many say affordability remains a challenge. As a result, buying patterns have shifted, with households adjusting quantity and meals plans to manage expenses. For traders, the market remained competitive as the balance rising costs with the need to attract customers. Despite these challenges, frozen chicken, turkey, and fish continue to play a key role in household nutrition. As economic conditions evolve, monitoring the prices of frozen food provides insights into broader issues affecting food supplies and household spending. Traders report slow patronage, explaining that while goods are available, consumers are more cautious with spending. The balance between keeping frozen food affordable and covering operational costs remains a daily struggle for sellers. As market activity continues, the price of frozen chicken, turkey, and fish serve as a reflection of broader economic pressure affecting food supply and household budget. For now, traders continue to adjust to these realities, navigating a market shaped by rising costs and changing demand. Sellers explain that frozen product requires uninterrupted power supply to prevent spoilage. As a result, operators depend heavily on generators, making fuel cost a significant part of their daily expenses. These costs, combined with transportation and market levies, continue to influence the final price paid by consumers. Despite the availability of frozen chicken, turkey, and fish in the market, patronage remains slow. Traders say many customers now buy in smaller quantities or reduce how often they purchase frozen food as they try to manage limited household budgets. For traders, the situation has created a difficult balance. While they strive to keep prices within the reach of consumers, they must also cover operational costs to avoid losses. Some say profit margins have dropped, while others worry about sustaining their businesses if costs continue to rise. As the market adjusts, frozen chicken, turkey, and fish remain essential food items for many families. However, their prices continue to reflect broader economic pressure affecting food supply and consumption patterns. In the end, the frozen market tells a larger story, one of resilience, adaptation, and the everyday struggle to balance nutrition with affordability. As conditions evolve, both traders and consumers continue to navigate challenging market environment.
And that is today's edition of Market Survey. I am Stephanie Montoliwa.
certainly the best.
In the evening of the initiation day, all the newly initiated Edion danced to the residents of the Odion Way and also visited some homes of the various senior elders, where Chief Elder Ogbeide Onwonse was very conspicuous, especially at the country home of Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion with his family on the night of the initiation. On the following morning, as part of the rite to be performed by the newly initiated Edion in Okada town, the initiates, led by Chief Elder Ogbeide Onwonse, visited the Esama of Benin, Sir Chief Dr. Gabriel Osaro Igbenedion, at his Okada country home residence to pay homage and appreciate him for all he has done in the development of the community, which has placed Okada in world map. They also thanked him for his role in the success of their ceremony. They commended the Esama of Benin as a custodian of Benin cultural heritage and for revitalizing the age-long tradition of the age-grade ceremony.
ITV, certainly the best.
ITV, certainly the best.
Welcome to Viewpoints on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji, and today on Viewpoints we're going to be talking about the current electricity issues and situations that we as business owners, as individuals, are facing in Nigeria, as over 80% of households lack adequate access to grid, as Nigeria's electricity sector suffers from chronic liquidity trap and infrastructural decay, leading to frequent national grid collapses, with generation dropping below 4,200 megawatts, far short of the 4,000 megawatts required for its citizens and population. It is a Viewpoint on ITV, and we're going to be looking at some of the key issues affecting our electricity sector in Nigeria. I am Caroline Okonji.
In terms of security of it, we need light. And based on that, in some areas, it makes it difficult for us when we are on patrol at night. And we are even begging the state government to try and do something, at least by supplying street lights in some area that are dark in the night. In most cases in our community, there are places that is very dangerous, that without light we cannot do anything of such. For so doing, we want, as a matter of urgency, the Edo State government to try and do the needful, so that the security will be okay for us, so that we can be able to work effectively.
The issue of NEPA issue that you came from is very rapid to us in the sense that the NEPA look as if we are not a citizen of Nigeria. Because since a month, there's no light in us. We have been passing through. Which NEPA, anytime they came, a minute or 30 minutes to, they will come and bring a light to us. That is, we are not expecting them to come and collect their bill. Indirectly, we are expecting bill from them to come and collect it. Within that hour or 2 hours, you will see a number of people with a LiDAR. They will come. And after their collection, there's nothing like light again. They will block us up. I think before we have this light, they mandated us to buy a meter, which we bought individual. We pay through the NDC, we have our transformer here, not through NEPA. Before we got out this light, they mandated us to write an application of submitting it to the NEPA as a will to them. And we work for it. We should not claim ownership. And we fought for the transformer. And after that, again, they came that there is no oil in it. We pay up to 1 point something again. Before. After all that, they came up again, said it was meter issue again, that every community, every houses have to have a meter, which we did. We have to. I have my own receipt. I have my paper meter in my residential house here. So after all that again, they came up with a past bill. We, before we make that transformer, got that transformer, we've been black out for 10 years here. They came with a bill to us again that we need to pay a standing bill. We went to Testament, their office there. After we left the one at the bypass, they were delivering us before they now refer us to the one at bypass. I don't want to mention name of the manager there. Got him there again. He said we have to go for all those things. We need to fulfill all those things which we did. After that, they now on the light for us. As they on the light, not up to a month, we were still in blackout again. So at the end of it, we went again. They said it was according to them, that the electric wiring merge. That was because that they now cut us off again from EOY again, which we not pay. Pay that amount again. The Chile community, which is the Kabetu, Igbo and Igwe. After that, they brought a light for a week again. After a week, they cut us off again. They said EOY is owing. We now went to the office again and told them that if EOY is owing, does that mean it affects our community? We are blackout throughout all this. So before we sort all those things out, we have already made up our mind. We can do away with our NEPA. When our father was living with a lamp and all these things, we were enjoying it. We cannot be paying for what we are not using. We cannot be paying for what we are not using. So if they feel they want to cut us off from this NEPA issue, they should cut everybody off totally, so that we will know that we are not with NEPA. Not that after 3 weeks, they will not bring a light under 2 hours or 3 hours. They will come and collect their money. It's unfair to the masses.
The electricity issues and challenges that BDC in the state is devastating, in the sense that as a minister I suffer a lot in terms of electricity, as an individual, not only me, the entire people of Edo State, and not only in Edo State, Nigeria as a whole, we are really facing electricity challenge in the country, in the sense that we are not getting, if people have constant light, people will want to pay for it. But a situation where you don't see light, at the end of the month you see BEDC personnel coming to people's house to come to cut lights, is really a problem. My major concern is that let them provide us electricity and people will pay for it. But a situation whereby we don't have constant light, out of 24 hours, people cannot boast of 3 hours light in a day. It's a problem that we are really facing. People who are doing business cannot do business effectively. People who are doing business, they want to make sure their foodstuff does not get spoiled. Nobody can preserve their food again. Even though they cook, you cannot preserve it. Even though electricity for our artisans to work, they cannot get electricity to empower their equipment in order to boost productivity for the entire society. It is really a problem. The state of electricity in our country, in our state, is very poor. Very, very poor. We don't know how government is creating effectiveness on this aspect. We say Nigeria is generating electricity and the neighboring are getting electricity, and the people that are in this country are not benefiting it. Nigerians, we are crying. As a person, I am crying. We don't say as an individual we don't want to pay for electricity. We are not saying that they should give us light for free, but let them make light available and let people pay for it.
They often tell us the national grid is collapsed. So ultimately it's to develop enough capacity, the whole process of generation, distribution and the rest of it. And then the enabling law, the happy thing recently is that they have said is deregulated. You know, state governments and private investors can now enter the electricity market, generate and sell. So we do hope that will be a great deal of improvement, because without electricity, really, we are going to remain in the Stone Age. You know, we cannot industrialize. Even domestically, we cannot have the comfort we should derive from electricity. You know, we should consider all the options, whether the new sources like wind, solar in our country, so that we're able to generate enough for our consumption. The darkness is a cover for any kind of nefarious activity. Yeah, so if the place is not well lit or substantially lit up, people can ordinarily hide under the cover of darkness to perpetrate just anything, not just robbery, kidnapping and whatever you have. Yeah. Don't also forget that we now have private investors. The government doesn't have so much to do with electricity anymore, apart from regulation. So they also have to maximize their profit. So it may have been a mistake in the first instance, divesting from electricity at the level of government.
Let me talk about the state where I live, where I reside. The total blackout is nothing to write up about. We really suffer when it comes to light. Edo is suffering. I think our governor is trying to, you have to do more. Our Excellency, Senator Monde, our governor of Edo, Executive Governor, you have to do much when it comes to that light issue. We are suffering. There are some of us who can provide electricity for ourselves, solar and all that. Maybe a generator, this was the case, but not everybody. And so at this junction, I think it is expedient that our governor looks straight into this issue and solve this problem. What would I call it? I don't know the right English to use. The right English right now, we have serious problem when it comes to light. Businesses are going down. Those selling drinks, those who have koro, without generator, you can't do anything. And the J is on the high side. Those small jewelry, those are better passing. Our neighbor used to buy them 30,000, 10,000. Now you can't buy it. Then the other one is the Tiger and the LMX 1 point something for ordinary generator. So it doesn't make any sense at all. So we're begging on our executive governor the governor that knows what to do to please to look into us and save us from darkness. Then when it comes to these funny BEDC people, we're raising a child that came from the US and the others. The first thing they learned in Nigeria is NEPA don't bring light. Children brought from abroad. The NEPA don't bring light. Can you imagine such? And so these funny people, 2 days, they'll bring the light, on and off for 2 days. The next thing they'll come with their estimated billing. They start dragging people, wires and all that. It's high time. I think it's high time we stand our ground and let them know that we're not fools. We are Nigerians. We all own this nation. It belongs to nobody. It belongs to nobody and it's for everybody. We should stand our ground and fight for our rights. This BEDC, I bet may they pack, may they go. NEPA still better pass. You can't go out at night when there is no light. The security issue. Is what the government is trying. I may cannot chrome them in one day, but we individual too. Like the police used to say, see something, say something. But sometimes when you say something, they use it as a bait. And so we need to. Just the government need to give us security as well. Nightlife in Benin is almost gone. But I also want to say kudos to our governor. For the first time, it was December free of bloodshed. It was wonderful. Look, we have most of our people in Nigeria right now, those living in diaspora, those living abroad. Many of them came December and this January. And they came and they're enjoying it. So I believe our excellent governor, our excellency can do more about that to give us more security like this. If you're traveling from Benin to Akure, Benin to Ifon, those roads are no go area at night. You can't date. So I believe with all hands on deck and our governor and the police, our CP, let's hope and pray for our action governor to do something about insecurity.
BEDC, since they came in, I don't think they have done well by my own assessment. And darkness is synonymous with demonic things. And they have thrown their city into darkness, Benin City, Edo State as it were, is in darkness. And I think that the government should step into the matter to do something about the situation. Because the way I look at it is that, for me, I think it is deliberate. Because there are some areas that have light. They call it dedicated light. So why can't everybody have the same light? Because there are areas for 2 weeks no light, for 1 month no light. Some people have 3 hours a day. Some people have 1 hour. And if they bring light in these 20 years, so people shout, hey, they'll be saying up NEPA instead of up BEDC, which is BEDC. So the thing is that government should step in and help us. People are dying, and most people are paying for darkness. They go there, they threaten people, they bring light when it is wanted for 3 days, 2 hours, 3 days, they come and collect money and they shut it down again. So I think the government should step in. If they are going to be thrown out, they should be thrown and bring people who can give us light, who are ready to pay. It was privatized. That was a good intention by government, but the people that did it, I'm sure they gave it to their cronies who does not know anything about the management of light, and that's why we are where we are. It has really hampered nightlife because you don't work in darkness, and the only thing that is helping us now is this solar, and people put everywhere, and some persons that have money to buy diesel and buy fuel. It's not everybody that have that kind of money, so it has really disturbed or hampered nightlife. But government is trying to bring it back by putting street light and everything. So we commend them. We pray that God will give government more power, more strength, more wisdom to do what they have to do. And the individuals are also trying by helping to lighten up everywhere. So we praise them. But for BEDC, I think they should go. Make better people.
The situation of electricity in Benin here now, I will give them at least 30%. They don't give up to 50% from my area. But I wish the government can improve, because if you see what is happening to us now, we use our hand to define electricity. Some of us will go generate for us, some of us will get solar, some of us will go generate big blister. All these people will get like hotel. So I wish the government, if they really improve for electricity, all those generators will become condemned for our hand. You understand? So people are not going to go for it. And money, now they need to input, because that energy, that light will really need that. if light dey for this, imagine if you come for here for Shiloko Road now, government don already put light, but in the evening everywhere go be dark. So where there is light, everything, even the security aspect of itself, wetin anything concern light is too plenty. No be one particular thing. So we need light. If I come out for office now, if light no dey, we must buy generator. At least from office I dey buy at least, if I'm not mistaken, 5,000 every day for sure. Imagine na times 1 month, na big money. And na money. From there I go come see look at this, we come be like say we come dey go for solar. Make we use solar take stabilize am, because solar dey give us more, make savings from the fuel aspect of it. So if you get light, nothing like light, your light can carry AC, can carry everything for us. And to the noise, no go even give you that noise issue. So we prefer light more than any other thing.
The light is our problem. We are suffering for light. You can see our business without light, we cannot improve. We need light. The issue of light is because it's very, very. The issue of light in Edo State is very poor. Patronage is very low. You can see we bought fuel at least every day 10,000, 15,000 a day. But you can stay 2 days, 3 days, no light. Business is very, very, very low. Very low. Very low. So we are begging government to improve on light aspect. So we are begging government to improve on light aspect. That light cannot sell. That light cannot sell bulb. It cannot sell fan. You understand? When you have light, you bulb. It cannot sell fan. You understand? When you have light, you prepare to buy fan. Prepare to buy fan. Actually, we need light. Actually, we need light.
Electricity in Benin City. Electricity in Benin City or in Edo State, a node that they are faring well with the supply of electricity, but with some become so epileptic of recent. Me personally, I have discovered that we are not paying for what we get, or we don't get what we pay for. The reason being that the regulatory body that's supposed to task the BEDC are not doing enough to satisfy a customer by way of ensuring that you get what you pay for. For those who are using prepaid meter, there are reports that suggest that even the prepaid meter is even what the government is telling us. Only recently, with the generation company is not supplying them what they ought to get, which will in turn affect the consumer of federal government owing them. But just recently, the federal government has paid a huge sum of money to liquidate what they are owing this distribution company. But looking at the experience of consumer in terms of the electricity supply, it is so appalling. They will either give you excuse of faulty transformer, which they left for the consumer to contribute money to fix, whereas it is supposed to be the onus of BDC to fix the transformer so that they can in turn supply electricity to the consumer who pay for that service. It's like you are buying a recharge card. I am not sure that the recharge card you buy is what they give you. It varies from quarter to quarter. It varies from consumer to consumer. For example, for those who have been using the analog or the estimated billing, you will discover that whatever they bring, which is not subject to negotiation, by the time you now procure your own prepaid meter, they will bring everything inside the bill and begin to roll out deductions arbitrarily without consulting with the consumer. Even the estimated billing they brought was not even discussed by the consumer. So, and there is nobody that is there to advocate for the consumer or to leverage on the complaints. Nobody to complain to. So that makes it very, very heartbreaking. So for me, I believe the federal government and indeed the lawmaker, the National Assembly, should set up a body where consumer can run to and lay their complaints, so that there can be an equilibrium between the consumer and the BDC, for example.
To wrap it up on Viewpoint on ITV, we're going to be highlighting some of the key issues that was actually mentioned by our respondents, which some said it is as a result of poor maintenance, gas supply shortage, and poor metering, just to list but a few. And the government at all levels, they are expected to do the needful and do the right thing to ensure steady power supply for citizens in order to boost means of livelihood, especially for business owners in the country. It is Viewpoint on ITV. I am Caroline Okunji.
ITV, certainly the best.
This is Anegbete community, situated in Isako Central Local Government Area of Edo State. It is an agrarian community with united people that promotes unity and oneness for peaceful coexistence. The inhabitants of the community migrated from Benin, the cradle of black civilization, a kingdom where king is truly king. The ancestors of Anegbete saw that age was the main determinant of leadership in the rural setting, and the eldest man in the settlement was regarded as the leader who presided over meetings, and his authority is held in high esteem. To further strengthen this unique system of leadership, age group evolved in Anegbete. In Anegbete, age group is categorized into two, that is the common and the noble. Anegbete is rich in cultural heritage, as the community at noon saw the commitment of the festival with the first set rolled out in beauty colors to showcase their might and strength, indicating their feet and ready for the responsibilities behold on them. The streets in the community with a feed up of young men and women adorned with the festival. Later, the